Hi, I'm Andy Schoonover, principal at Hockinson High School. If you haven't watched the district-wide video regarding reopening in the fall of 2020, I encourage you to do so before you watch this video because it will provide some context for what I'm going to explain, which is our remote learning plan for the fall of 2020 at Hockinson High School. I want to be very clear. This fall is very different than the spring. In the spring, we were reacting to a worldwide pandemic and we were doing our best to just simply figure out what we were doing. In the fall, expectations are significantly higher for students and for staff. For example, we will be requiring synchronous learning experiences. What that means is live learning lessons via Zoom with teachers. We will take attendance and students will be expected to attend. We will be assessing and grading just like we did prior to COVID. Therefore, kids are going to have to show their knowledge of standards to earn credits and get good grades. Students are expected to work between 24 and 30 hours a week on school, which matches our current schedule of traditional school. About 12 of those hours will be on Zoom calls with teachers. The rest will be doing what's called asynchronous learning, which is homework, schoolwork assigned that they can work on their own, and then they'll go back and meet with the teachers. To help students meet those increased expectations, we are going to provide as many supports as possible. For one, we're going to open the school up for Wi-Fi access. Students are going to be allowed to come in, use the internet. They will follow all social distancing protocols. We will clean. We're going to do our best to make sure everybody stays safe, but they will have access to come in and use the Wi-Fi. We'll send out some specifics sometime soon about what that looks like and how many people we will allow in. Students on IEPs, individualized education plans, may come into the building and work with their teachers a little more. They will be reached out to by their teachers to figure out their plans from there. A couple of big things. Students are going to have to be good at what's called self-advocacy. And what I mean by that is students advocating for their learning. They need to reach out to teachers and ask for help. It's much more difficult for teachers to know which kids are doing well and which kids are struggling when we don't have them in front of us. So parents, you can really help us by encouraging your students to reach out to teachers when they're struggling. We will do our best to frequently communicate with home. Counselors will call, admin will call, secretarial staff will call. We want to make sure that we're doing our best to meet the needs given our restrictions that we have on us. Counselors will be available to support students in all aspects of life, and they will be helping as much as possible. Our ASB students do plan on trying to do some fun activities when at all possible to try and continue to build that Hawk spirit that we all enjoy. I'd like to share with you now what our schedule will look like so you have time to kind of figure out what synchronous learning and examples of how that would work. I am sharing my screen now. So as you can see, from 9 to 11, we expect students to be working on schoolwork on Mondays for periods 5 through 7. 11 to noon are teacher office hours. These will be held via Zoom, and this is the chance for a student to contact directly to a teacher and explain, hey, I need some extra help on this, I'm not understanding, whatever the situation may be. Sometime to eat lunch, and then these will be, the afternoon will be the synchronous learning opportunities for students. First period, second period, and fourth period on Mondays. And then the schedule just reverses on Tuesdays. They'll be doing their schoolwork assigned to them from Monday afternoon in the mornings, office hours, lunch, and then the afternoon schedule. You may notice there's no third period on this schedule. That has historically been focus for us. In a remote learning, we have not found a way to make focus meaningful for students, so we will not have focus for the fall of 2020. Wednesday will be an all asynchronous day. Teachers will be working hard on those days to prep and assess and collaborate to try and make sure that we are providing the best instruction possible for your students. And then Thursday repeats Monday, Friday repeats Tuesday. I did add a second option that you can see here. Because this is asynchronous learning, students are allowed to do this work whenever fits their schedule best. Therefore, they could start at 11 with the teacher office hours and then end closer to 5:30 or 6 whenever they finish their work. It all depends on what works best for them. Hopefully that schedule makes sense. We'll be sending out a hard copy sometime soon so you can have a copy of it. Our first day of school will be September 2nd. We're going to start with class meetings. Again, I'll send a schedule out as we get closer, where I will be leading discussions with each class, so the class of 2021, 22, all the way down, to talk about expectations and what we expect, try and do some fun things with them to get that back to school feel as much as we can. It will be very important that you know Schoology well. Schoology will be our primary communication tool with students and parents. We know this isn't an ideal way to start the year, and it's disappointing to many that we won't be together in the building. I can share that our staff is also disappointment. We share that disappointment. But we're going to do our best to rise to the challenge and set in our mission statement, which is to empower all students to achieve their goals in high school and beyond. I firmly believe that we can create a very high level of education for our students that, despite a lot of the challenges we're facing, we will do a good job in this. I believe we'll rise to the challenge. It takes a whole village to raise a child, and we care deeply about our Hawk students, and we're going to rise to the challenge to meet the needs. For more information, go to hawksd.org, click on the Reopening Information tab. We'll be uploading documents there as they get approved by the school board and ran through all of our channels there. If you have student-specific questions, please email me at andrew.schoonover@hawksd.org or our assistant principal, Josh Johnson, at josh.johnson@hawksd.org. I appreciate your time. Go Hawks.